What's up, fellas? It's your boy back with another episode of Ball Talk with Manny. I hope everybody's having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. With that being said, let's hop right into it. All right, so the Panthers lost to the Seahawks 27 to 10 on Sunday. Um, as a Panthers fan, that was a very hard watch. I'm not gonna lie. It was a hard watch. It was a tough one. But the thing is, it was really a winnable game through most of the game, honestly. 27 to 10 do sound like a lot, like a blowout, but it was a I'm not gonna say a close game, but it was a couple mistakes that they just capitalized off of, that made the score that score. But as you know, Sunday continued our streak of being inconsistent. We are now reaching historic levels of inconsistency. I'm not talking about just for our franchise. I'm talking about in the history of the NFL. We are reaching historic levels of inconsistency. I'll put up a graphic in a second. This is our 10th game of alternating between win and loss. And I think that puts us into fourth place of all time inconsistency streaks. So yeah, this is our 10th game in a row of alternating between win or loss. And that really just sums up our season. Um and it's that's not going to work in the playoffs. It's just not. Hopefully we could turn it around. Hopefully we could win this week. Hopefully we could keep the inconsistency and win this week. Um but yeah. Let's hop into what happened on Sunday. The first thing I got in my notes in very big letters is offense. The offense was atrocious. That was probably the worst I've seen us play this year on the offensive side, and we've put up some stinkers this year. Um, yeah, that was terrible. That was unacceptable. Bryce, I'm a Bryce supporter. I love Bryce, but 54 yards, that's not gonna get it done. That's never gonna get it done. 14 of 24 for 54 yards, one interception. That's not gonna get it done. I'm not gonna lie, that was terrible. And I'm not putting all the blame on him because I know play calling goes into that. Play calling, I'm not letting that off the hook either. Receivers, they gotta get open. That was just terrible on all sides of offense. Running the ball, we couldn't run the well, Rico, he had what, like 12 attempts with 59 yards. That's not terrible, but that's just not gonna get it done. If we look at the stats, what did I say? I said 12, 59. Yeah, that was right. 12 attempts, 59 yards. That's not going to get it done. Bryce, he had 9 rushes, 27 yards. That's mostly because nobody was getting open. Nobody's open except the check down. You might as well run. Most of his completions were check downs, 2, 3 yard gains. It's not going to get done. 4 rushes for Chuba, 12 yards. One fumble. That fumble really killed us. That fumble really killed us. He fumbled on our side of the field, gave them, he gifted them a touchdown basically. Um, but yeah, 16 rushes between Chuba and Rico. That's never been our recipe for success. Every time we win, we've been running the ball dominantly. Um, so I just don't know why we shy away from it. Um, yeah, that's just gonna be something we're gonna have to address. All right, and now the receivers. Man, Coker, 2 receptions, 16 yards, and he's leading us in yards that game. 16 yards. Jimmy Horn second with 9 yards. Tuba with 6. Like y'all just see. I know T Mac he was sick. Um, T Mac was sick, but I don't know. JT Sanders, I know he got hurt the first drive. Maybe he was just a big part of what the offensive game plan was. Maybe he was just that big to it, and they never recovered. But there's just no excuses for how we played. That was terrible. And what was it? On third down efficiency, 1 for 11. 1 for 11. That is terrible. I don't know how many 3-and-outs we had, but 1 for 11, that's not going that's that's not going to get it done. Um so yeah, we got some things to address this week. We got Tampa Bay Saturday, so yeah, we're going to have to get right. But yeah, now that we got the worst part out the way, Let's talk about the defense. The defense, they was balling. They was balling. Mike Jack, he was doing his thing. He got a pick. Sadly, we after the pick, we gave them the ball right back and they scored. But yeah, defense was playing pretty well. They held the Seahawks to 3 points at half. 3 points. And then 14 of the 27 points was gifted by our offense, turning the ball over on our side of the field. So really the defense only gave up 13 points. Um, yeah, 13 points. And like I always say, that's good enough to win the game. That was on our that today or Sunday was strictly on offense. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the defense did have a couple mistakes. The third and long conversions, it's starting to get old. Second and long and third and long conversions, it's starting to there has to be something that we could do to stop that. It's getting to a point, and I said this last week. I'd rather it be third and six than it be third and 20 because our defense just doesn't know how to get off the field when it's third and long. And I actually don't understand how that's the case. And JC, you had a bad one. I'm not gonna lie. On third and 21, you let the man catch it short, but instead of just pushing them out of bounds, you get a face mask call, automatic first down, and they go on to score that drive. That was really the nail in our coffin. Um, so it's like it's just little things like that's going to decide a game, especially in the playoffs. Those are deciding factors in games, and that's just things we gotta address. It's just discipline at the end of the day. But besides that, really, the defense did play pretty well though. They was getting pressures. They got two turnovers. Mike Jack got a pick. We got a I think Scoring got a forced fumble. Um, I forgot who recovered it, but Scoring got a forced fumble. Scoring been balling. But the thing is, we scored 3 points off of our turnovers, off of their turnovers. They scored 14. They scored both times off of our turnovers. That really killed us too. So that was a very winnable game. I say all that to say that was a very winnable game. So yeah, like I said, we just got some things to clean up. It's the little things. It's the little things that you have to do well to make a team great. And some of the little things we were just not executing on. But to move on from that, um, we did find out that JT did break his ankle, so he is out for the year. So that sucks. Um, Rochelle, something like that, the corner. I think he suffered a concussion during the game. I forgot something like that. So yeah, those are big injuries. Trevin Wallace, I know he's out for the year. But on the positive side, we got Robert Hunt coming back and Damian Lewis. They should be coming back. So I'm feeling pretty good with that. Hopefully they could help us with our run game too, get our run game back on schedule. And they honestly couldn't be coming back at a better time. This is our final push, this final game. It's win or go home. This is playoffs. Um, Actually, technically, it's not win or go home, but I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, basic almost win or go home. We got to treat this like it's win or go home because Tampa Bay is. Tampa Bay is definitely treating this like win or go home. But yeah, I'm recording this on Tuesday. So last night was the Falcons and Rams game. And for like the fifth time this season, I've had to root for an in division opponent. And in the Falcons. And the Falcons, they pulled it off. The Falcons, they had me a little worried there for a second. They let the Rams back in it, but they finished them off. And I'm mentioning the Falcons because the way that the NFC South is positioned right now, the Falcons just had to win against the Rams and against the Saints next week, and we're automatically in the playoffs because of the teams that the Buccaneers lost to and the teams that we've beat. It will automatically put us in the playoffs. So yeah, if you're a Panthers fan, you should be rooting for the Falcons to beat the Saints next week because they did half the battle and beat the Rams. I honestly didn't think they were going to beat the Rams. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that because if we didn't handle business on Saturday, we would still have a chance if the Falcons beat the Saints. But yeah, it shouldn't come to that. What we need to do is handle business on Saturday and get into the playoffs. But I really do like our chances. Um, but if the Panthers didn't make it, honestly, they just brought it on themselves. They've had chance after chance. opportunity after opportunity to win the NFC South. They could have won, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. They could have won by just beating the Saints. If they would have beat the Saints and then beat the Buccaneers, they would have won the NFC South. But they lost against the Saints twice this year. If they win one of them games, they're in the NFC South. Maybe if they don't lose to the Cardinals, a bad Cardinals team, we win the NFC South. But that's would have, could have, should have. It's in the past. There's nothing we could do about it. We gotta look forward. I like our chances, honestly. So yeah. But yeah, really, that's all I had to say. I'm not about to sit here and rant. If any more news do come out, I'll try to get that out later this week. Um, but until then, stay blessed, and I'll see y'all next time.